Namaste viewers, this is Kalavati. Already in the previous videos we have learned about the two important relief features of India, that is the Himalayas and Indo-Gangetic plains. Now I am explaining about the third important relief of India, that is called as Peninsular Plateau. The Peninsular Plateau is also called as Indian Plateau. Peninsular Plateau is also called as Indian Plateau. This is all the Indian Plateau. The Peninsular Plateau is also called as Indian Plateau. This is all Indian Plateau. Indian Plateau broadly divided into two different parts. Indian Plateau, which is also called as Peninsular Plateau, is divided into two divisions. One is called Central Highlands, consisting of Malwa Plateau and Chota Nagpur Plateau. Malwa Plateau and Chota Nagpur Plateau together comes under Central Highlands. The other division of Peninsular Plateau is Deccan Plateau. First, you have to learn about Central Highlands. As I said, Central Highlands consisting of Malwa Plateau and Chota Nagpur Plateau. They are spread over to the south of Indo-Gangetic plains, and to the north of Narmada River. This is Narmada River. To the north of Narmada River, to the south of Indo-Gangetic plain, these Central Highlands are all located. Here two plateaus are there. One is called Malwa Plateau, and this Malwa Plateau is on the western side of this Central Highland. This is also called as Central Highlands. Malwa Plateau is on west side of Central Highland. And to the east of the Central Highland, Chota Nagpur Plateau is located. So Malwa Plateau and Chota Nagpur Plateau together called as Central Highlands, as it is in the middle. We can say it as Central Highlands. This Chota Nagpur Plateau, which is located on the east of Malwa Plateau, is famous for many mineral resources. Lot of mineral resources are there in Chota Nagpur area, Chota Nagpur Plateau area. Hence, this plateau is often referred as Ruhr Valley of Germany. Ruhr is a place in Germany where a lot of minerals are available. In the same manner, in Chota Nagpur Plateau, different mineral resources are available. Comes to the Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau is extended in the middle of the country called India. This Deccan Plateau is also looking like a triangular plateau. Its roughly structure is in triangular shape. Satpura mountains on west edge, Kaimur, Maikal and Mahadev hills on eastern edge are the two-side boundaries on west and east of this Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau's boundaries are on western edge Satpura mountains, on eastern edge Kaimur, Maikal and Mahadev hills. On east side of Deccan Plateau, eastern Ghats are located. On western side of Deccan Plateau, western Ghats are there. Nilgiris are its southern boundaries. Deccan Plateau is triangular in shape. It is consisting of black soils. If overall we can see that the Indian Plateau is extended on both sides. Its boundaries on west side, Western Ghats as its boundary, and Indian Plateau's eastern boundary is Eastern Ghats, and Kanyakumari is its southern boundary. Total overall plateau we can take: Eastern Ghats are its eastern boundary, Western Ghats are its western boundary, and Kanyakumari is its southern boundary. Like this, the plateau regions are divided into two kinds. Let us see the important features of this plateau region. The plateau regions are dry regions. Why? Because most of the plateau region is located in rain shadow regions. Hence, they are dry regions. Here, perennial rivers are absent. Most of the rivers are rain-fed rivers. If rains are good, sufficient enough water is there in the rivers. Otherwise, they are not flowing. Hence, agriculture in this region depending upon tanks and wells. As perennial rivers are absent here, the agriculture in plateau region depends upon tanks and wells. Previously, I have told in Deccan Plateau black soils are there, and these black soils are suitable for cotton crop growing, and these soils are made because of volcanic activity. Volcanoes are bursted, because of that these black soils are formed here. And plateau region is made up of different kinds of crystalline, sedimentary and igneous rocks. Different kinds of rocks were all there inside this plateau. That is why plateau region's topography we can say it as rocky. It is not a very smooth, gentle plain. It is rocky surface. It has a topography, rocky topography. And this plateau region is tilted towards the east. Plateau region, if you observe the plateau region, it is just tilted towards west to east direction. If you observe most of the regions in these plateau regions like Godavari, Krishna, all these rivers of plateau rivers, these are called peninsular rivers. These are flowing towards eastern side and they are merging or draining into Bay of Bengal. Because the plateau is tilted towards the east, these rivers are flowing towards east and they are merging into Bay of Bengal. And a lot of metallic and non-metallic minerals are also available here in this plateau region. If we compare, this plateau region is not agriculturally very developed, but this plateau region, because of its mineral wealth, it is suitable for development of various industries. The Western Ghats are on the west side of the Indian Plateau and the Eastern Ghats are on the east side of Peninsular Plateau. Let us learn about these Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Western Ghats are parallel to the west coast. Western Ghats are parallel to the west coast. In the same manner, Eastern Ghats are parallel to the east coast. Western Ghats are parallel to the west coast and the Eastern Ghats are parallel to the east coastal plains. These Western Ghats are continuous mountain ranges. Western Ghats are continuous mountain ranges. Here and there small passes. Passes means way. Pass is nothing but the way through which we have to move in between the mountains, that is called pass. So these Western Ghats are continuous with a few passes here and there we can see. But Eastern Ghats are not continuous like Western Ghats. Eastern Ghats are not continuous, they are dissected. And these Western Ghats are higher in elevation than Eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghats are not high as the Western Ghats. Western Ghats are higher than Eastern Ghats. Their average height is about 2000 meters. These Western Ghats average height is about 2000 meters, whereas this Eastern Ghats is about 900 meters high. The height of Eastern Ghats not exceeded in most of the places about 900 meters. Udakamandalam, Ooty, which is called as Ooty. Udakamandalam is nothing but Ooty. It is a famous hill station on Nilagiris. On these Nilagiris, we can see Dodapetta. Dodapetta is the highest peak in Nilagiris. Its height is 2637 meters. Among the Nilagiris, Dodapetta is the highest peak. It is located in Nilagiris. Udakamandalam or Ooty is one of the important hill stations here. Such hill stations are not located mostly here on these Eastern Ghats. And you see that Annaimudi in Annamalai Hills, Annaimudi is the highest peak. It is also considered as the highest peak in South India with 2000 more meters the Western Ghats. Annamalai Hills and Palani Hills are in Tamil Nadu, whereas Cardamom Hills are in Kerala. Remember, cardamom is a spice, and these cardamom hills are named as Cardamom Hills in Kerala state. And here, these Eastern Ghats are also named differently in different districts. And Velikondalu, Palakondalu, Errakondalu, then Seshachalam Hills, Simhachalam Hills are some of the names of these Eastern Ghats in different parts of India. Eastern Ghats are named with different names in different parts. They are called Velikondalu, Palakondalu, Seshachalam Hills, Simhachalam Hills, and all these are the names of Eastern Ghats. You know, Seshachalam Hills is one of the important part of Eastern Ghat, where the famous religious place of Indians is located. That is nothing but Tirumala. Tirumala Tirupati, what we call, where our Balaji, where the temple Balaji is located. Lord Balaji Venkateshwara temple, that is in Seshachalam Hills. In this video, you have learned about the Peninsular Plateau and the two divisions of Peninsular Plateau like the Central Highlands and Deccan Plateau, and the most important differences between Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. By this, the